We are really, really excited about this call tonight. Somebody who both James and I deeply respect, and who is a dear friend of ours, and someone who I've had the pleasure of knowing and watching grow into the incredible leader and visionary that he is going to grace us on this call tonight. So we have the pleasure and the honor of hearing from the Chief Visionary Officer of Isagenix, Jim and Kathy's son, Erik Coover. And what is so exciting to me about Erik is, one of the things that I deeply admire and respect about him is his constant vision and his work ethic to make Isagenix become everything that he sees it to become for everyone in the field. He is someone that works tirelessly day and night to provide value for all of the associates. So any person from any age and any background has the opportunity to come in and to change their health and to change their legacy. And he's been a huge, huge person in both mine and James's life. Just an advocate. He's someone that blew wind in my sails when I first started Isagenix, when I didn't know if I could really make this happen. And he's a constant encourager, someone that we are so, so proud to have in our corner at Isagenix, constantly fighting on our behalf. So he's calling in from Perth, Western Australia. And so we're going to unmute Erik's line. Erik, are you with us?
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
We're so pumped to have you. How are you in the morning time, Tuesday, living in the future?
Well, this is like 10 a.m. for me. I mean, I've been up between having 2 kids and like some time zone in Isagenix is always awake. So it's like I've been going for a while now, but just hitting my stride now, 10 a.m. here in Western Australia, and just so grateful to be on this call. I'm just so grateful for you, Audrey, and for James, everything that you've done for Isagenix. Like, you guys are the epitome of this spirit in the heart of this company. And Audrey, to have your parents, Carrie and Jonelle, hit millionaire today is incredible. And just, this is such a family company. And I hope you can feel that. And I know that's something that you ooze throughout this team. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're really, really pumped to have you. And guys, for those of you that don't really know Erik totally and fully all that well, we've got so many people who are on this line who know you well and have been on this team for years and years, and we have new people. But one of the things that I admire about Erik is when he decided that he really wanted to partner with his parents, he had to be a part of every single facet that made Isagenix Isagenix. His parents didn't say, "Oh, Erik, you are in this. Let's take you to Chief Visionary Officer right now." So Erik actually built in the field when he was in college. And he did everything that we are doing and all of us on this call are doing, which is pouring into our team every single day. For those of you that don't know, before he transitioned into the corporate world, while he was going to ASU, he actually built a 6-figure income in the field in Isagenix. So he has the understanding, the background, he's been through the struggles and the celebrations that we all face when building a business. So Erik, my first question to you is, what did you do to build your 6-figure income? What did you do? Because there's so many big dreamers and visionaries on this call who have aspirations to hit that 6-figure mark, to hit that $50,000 a year mark. So what was it that you did to grow your income into what it was before you transitioned into the corporate world?
Yeah, well, great question. I've obviously been around, this industry pretty much my entire life. And I've obviously seen Isagenix grow since the very beginning. And that my experience in the field, at the time, I didn't really understand why my parents wanted me to have that experience at that time. But that's the beauty of my parents, is that they have been in your shoes for a long time before they started Isogenics. They've lived it and breathed it, and they wanted that same experience for me. And so for me, I still remember my mom, she challenged me like she does everybody. And I was building back in about 2007, when you got to think about 2007, like Facebook was like only available on like certain college campuses. Like it wasn't like social media basically didn't exist. So back then it was much more face-to-face, belly-to-belly, like old school way of doing things. But for me, my mom challenged me. I want you to contact your 20 most motivated, passionate young people that you're going to school with, or that you know within your network, that are sports minded like you, that are entrepreneurial, that are into health, and just talk to them about Isogenics. So what she kind of tells everybody to do still to this day, the basic fundamentals is what she kind of instilled in me when I was starting. So I made a list of my 20 most motivated, passionate people, and instead of having kind of social media as a platform, we used my apartment complex. There was a conference room there. Every single Tuesday night, we rented it out for an hour, and it was very informal, but it was something that was so consistent. And that was the key, is it was whatever like tool or vehicle or thing that works for you. The key is, from my experience, it was the consistency in doing that event, or it wasn't even an event. I mean, it was just like a little get together every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock for an hour, apartment complex, so that during the week, I had something to kind of invite people to. People that were building within my team had something to build into. And so, and all that event was people sharing their brief story about the Isogenics, how Isogenics had helped them while going through college and being a young professional. We started to talk about the business opportunity. The world was kind of in a chaotic time when I graduated in 2009, when the economy was in the all-time tank. So, and in those initial meetings, like in that conference room, I started to really see the vision of how big this could actually be for young people, because of, I just talked about how when I left for school, when I left home, my foundation for health, which at the time before school was my mom's home cooking and my mom's organic pantry stuff full of organic foods. But most college students, what they can relate to when they leave home, it's like pizza, top ramen, pizza and beer diet. And so I just kind of, we would just discuss kind of how Isogenics could be a foundation for health while you're going through school, and still allow the freedom to go out and have fun and enjoy college, and also how to make an income while sharing what you love. And I think that, again, those initial like meetings and those initial 2 years of me building an Isogenics business opened my mind to the possibility of what this movement could, or what this gift of Isogenics could really represent to young people. And that's how kind of Start was really, born, in terms of like just seeing what this could actually mean for our generation, because there's no better generation that are great at sharing things that they love quickly than young people. And yes. So that was it. I mean, literally, it was just the consistency every Tuesday night, sharing. I mean, we just kind of fit it into our daily life. I mean, I was playing golf full time. I was on a golf scholarship at Arizona State. And so I just kind of weaved Isogenics into my daily life and my conversations, always taking the products, bringing up conversations with people. There was no like, all right, I've got an hour to book in, to work on my Isogenics. It was just kind of very organic, and it just kind of became a part of who I was and a part of something that I always talked about. And so it didn't happen overnight for me. It took me, and by the way, it took me 6 years before I even was open to the conversation of taking the products. And it took me 8 years before I was open to the conversation of sharing the products. And my parents own the company. And so if you have family members that are skeptical and that are resistant towards you, it took me, 7, 8 years to really like take a look. And so, but that initial time when I got started in Isogenics, I look back on it, and it was kind of the foundation for everything for me. And I learned so much.
Oh my gosh. It's so powerful the way that you talk about consistency. And just because you were around it with your parents didn't mean that when you started this, you knew everything that you needed to do. In fact, I've been so blessed from an outsider's perspective to watch you continue to push the boundaries on your own comfort zone. It's not like you came in and you were like totally fearless with every single conversation that you had. It's not like you came in and you rocked up on that stage doing share the shot with so much confidence. Like you grew into that. So how did you overcome maybe some of the initial fears or intrepidations that people can have? They have this vision, they see the compensation plan, their life has changed through the products. They say, I really want to make an income with this. I might have this limiting belief, or I might be scared to have this type of conversation. What are some of the things that you did and that you continue to do to really break off those limiting beliefs, to break off that fear so that you can push the boundary of your comfort zone?
Oh man, well, I think you're right. I mean, if I would have started and had the title of Chief Visionary Officer, the company would have been in big trouble. Because I was a disaster when I first started. It was like, every fear that you talk about, every limiting belief that you talk about, I had them all, every single one of them. I mean, you can imagine the weight that I put on my shoulders, even as I was building an isogenics business and starting to do fairly well and start to, earn income and stuff like that. I still had so much limiting belief. And when I fully decided to commit to isogenics kind of on the corporate side, that was very hard for me because there was so much expectation that I put on myself. Like, you're Jim and Kathy's son. Everybody's going to look at you to be the future and to carry the torch. And like, you got to speak like them and be like them and be as great as them. And all these stories that I made up in my head. And I think one thing that I look back on that I think I did quite well, that I didn't even really realize that I did at the time, was that when I decided to go all in with isogenics, I made that decision one time. Like I was like, okay, it took me a while to kind of really get there, but once I was all in, I was all in. I mean, and something happened to me where I got thrown out on stage. I've been working at isogenics for like 8 weeks, and I got thrown out on stage in front of like 7,000 people. No idea what I was doing. I had to read the teleprompters, and I was like sweating like crazy. And I got off stage and I went to my hotel and I just like bawled my eyes out because I was like, here's your first impression in front of all these people, and you just bombed, in front of everybody. But in that moment, because I had committed one time, I just made the decision that no matter how bad I am, no matter how much of a disaster I was on stage, no matter how many limiting beliefs that I had, I was just going to commit to doing this and keep moving forward and keep pushing myself, no matter how uncomfortable I was. I mean, you're right. I mean, I never, ever would have thought that I would be speaking in front of on stage and doing share the shot and all these things. Like, this culture, this community, when I fully grasped it, and I mean, it's empowered me through every phase of my life. And all I am now is just a product of being in this culture, all in this culture long enough. I see too many times people like they're in for like 6 months, and then they start to do some good things, and then it gets too hard, and then it's like, they're 80% committed, and so they're out for a season, and then they have to recommit again, and then it's this cycle, this painful cycle of having to recommit over and over and over and over again. And it's just so much easier to just commit one time. It's like, no matter what happens, no matter what comes my way over the next 5 to 10 years, I'm going to commit to doing this. I'm going to commit to moving forward, whether people are in this with me or not. I'm going to keep pushing forward because I know what I can create for myself. And I think that what I'm most proud of, and you could probably say the same thing, Audrey and James, and anybody that's like been in this culture long enough, is that take away the product results, take away the money, take away anything. It's like you're most proud of the actual person that you become on the journey. Because guess what? If you were to put like you, Audrey, today in any profession, any like scenario outside of Isogenics, you would freaking rock it because of the person that you are, like, and the growth that you've been through. And so, and as a result, you start to attract all these remarkable people because of how you're starting to show up. And so you're never going to, attract the people that you really want to attract if you're 70% committed. It's just not going to happen. I mean, you got to be all in. Nobody wants to be your experiment to see if this is going to work for you. People are watching if you're going to be in this in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now. They're watching you on Facebook and Instagram. They may not be commenting on your stuff or liking your stuff, but they're still watching to see if you're still going to be doing this. And then who knows, when the time might be right for them, they might reach out because of the consistency and the belief of you consistently showing up. So,
gosh.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going off now.
No, keep going. If you just keep going. This is so good.
No, so that's, I think, everybody wants to know, like, hey, what's the secret? What's the one thing? I mean, the one thing is just like committing to doing this one time and just never looking back. I mean, that's it. I mean, imagine if me and my parents were 70% committed. Imagine if we were like all this stuff, because we hear everything. I mean, we hear all the chatter and all we hear the, this and that and the haters, and we hear all this stuff. Imagine if we were like, oh my gosh, Mom and Dad, did you hear what this person said? Like about us or about this? Like, do you think we should do this anymore? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, imagine if we ran the company like that. This company would not have a lot of success. Mm-hmm. It's like, if there's one thing that has never gone through my head, it's like, am I still going to be doing this in 5 to 10 years? That's not a question. Like, this is what I'm like, feel like I'm genetically put on this earth and hardwired to do. Yeah. I don't know how to do anything else. I mean, it's like, so I think that's the kind of like belief and certainty that you need that's going to attract the people that you want in your life and your business. I mean, you look at your guys' conviction, James and Audrey, you look at, Herb Cepeda. I mean, it's like that guy, I don't care what that guy says, just like, give me some of that, because I just want his certainty. I want his belief, it's like, just give me that. People lean into that. So that's it.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. How many of you guys in the chat just feel a little more free hearing the transparency and the vulnerability from Erik talking about his journey? I mean, he's so true. When you see the longer that you stay in Isogenics, the better your life becomes. The more people are attracted to you, the more they see that you are intentional and passionate and you're not going anywhere. When the whole entire world can be fight or flight and they'll try anything under the sun, they got a new shiny penny, a new carrot that's like dangling and they're going over here, be the one that stays. Because truly, when you are all in, with each passing year, it gets better and better. James and I were talking today and we were looking around and at our beautiful life after my parents received a call from Kathy Coover, and so much of the goodness of what we have, our home, everything is a byproduct of the decision that we made 8 years ago to go all in and to never go out. I mean, I am Isogenic. And so it's so true. And it's just your passion and your conviction, Erik. It's remarkable. And I know that you've sat under mentorship from some of the greatest mentors on the planet, whether it's David T.S. Wood pouring into you, it's your parents, it's other leaders in Isogenics when you were younger. And I know that you continue to have mentorship where you're constantly seeking out people to become better so that you can serve the world at a greater capacity. So when we're looking at like a leadership standpoint, because we know that who you become in this business and the leadership characteristics that you possess really do elevate you to a new level in your Isogenics business. What are some of the characteristics that you think are some of the most important things that we can focus on as we're growing in our leadership skills to become people that can attract a championship team? What are some of the characteristics that you would say, hey, if you really want to do this and do this big, because you're talking to people who are on this call who are building championship teams, what are some of those characteristics that you would say, focus on these on a daily basis? Don't let up. These are the characteristics you need to have.
Boy, that's a good one. I would say that first thing, take real close inventory on who you are spending your time with in your life. I mean, look at your friends, your relationships, your everything you have. Like, who are you really spending time with? That's the first thing. What are you spending time watching? Like, what are you spending time consuming? Like, really take inventory of that, because I'm telling you, I mean, in order to be consistent in this business, because that's the thing, you got to be consistent, and you got to, speak about what you're speaking about with enthusiasm and passion. But that's not going to happen if you're in an environment and people are that are always chatting in your ear, trying to talk you down, or you got the news on and it's constantly negative, or you're just whatever it is. I mean, your environment is what's going to propel you to be consistent, to be enthusiastic and passionate about what you're doing. So take real close inventory about that. We're so lucky here at Isogenics to have, the best product that we have in this company is the community. I mean, look around, it's all like-minded, positive, incredible people that you can tap into, that think like you think, that believe in what you believe in, that want to be surrounded by positive people. That's a great gift of this company. So that's what I would say, first and foremost, look at your environment. Again, I think that enthusiasm, passion, and consistency, look, if you share a message with enthusiasm, and there's different ways to show enthusiasm, like, Audrey's enthusiasm, I mean, it's intense. That's intense enthusiasm. Not everybody has to be like, show Audrey's type of enthusiasm. It could be a more subtle enthusiasm. I've got intense enthusiasm as well. It doesn't have to be like mine. It can be, certainty and enthusiasm in your own way, and genuinely wanting to help people. People pick up on that. If you're consistent with that enthusiasm, passion, and actually wanting to serve people, if you're consistent, eventually your message is going to land on good people that want to link arms with you. The thing is that most people just aren't consistent long enough to find those people that really want to link arms. So I think that is critical. And I think that always looking for ways to stretch and push yourself in this never-ending, growth journey, because those limiting beliefs, those doubts, those insecurities, they're never going to go away. At least they haven't gone away for me yet. I mean, trust me, I've still got plenty. I mean, I went back to school about 12 months ago, and I went through an intense executive MBA program, and it was freaking intense. And I surrounded myself with all these people that were from all these different countries, that were superstars in their field, had nothing to do with network marketing, and I was so uncomfortable. And one of the biggest feedbacks that they gave me, and this was like after 9 years of being in my Isogenics journey, it was, Erik, you need to speak up. Like, why are you so quiet? Like, why are you, you don't give off the greatest first impression because you're just so quiet. You need to own your voice. That is still something that I struggle with. And it never, I feel like I'm getting better at it, but I just want you to know that to this day, and I'm sure James and Andre, same thing, you ask all the, many of the people that have been very successful in Isogenics, they've got limiting beliefs. They've got, doubts and insecurities. I got them every day. But what helps kind of, I guess, numb those limiting beliefs is just continuing to move forward, getting into action, continuing to push yourself, consistently over time. So I think that, I don't know, I think those are some common things that I would really, really focus on: enthusiasm, passion, consistency, and focus on your environment.
It's so good. It's so good. And, you know, to close out this call tonight, you are our Chief Visionary Officer, which is just the most perfect title for you. I mean, I was talking to James today. I was like, I'm so excited to get Erik on this call because you're so passionate about the future of Isogenics. And what is so energizing and so captivating when you talk about the vision is you really pull people in to the vision. It's not just the vision for, you know, the company to grow the company. It's the vision and the heart behind each individual person who has ever said yes to Isogenics to be a part of the future of this amazing company. That it is, you're so driven by human hearts and families and legacy, and it's what encourages and motivates. I mean, everyone on this call, they're saying like, this is the most encouraging call ever. So to close out this call, being our Chief Visionary Officer, what do we have to look forward to? I mean, we've been so excited. Isogenics 2.0, the launch, the rebranding, so many amazing things are being, you know, lined up in the future. What do we have? What do you see as our Chief Visionary Officer moving, you know, closing out 2020, entering into 2021? What do we have to look forward to being a part of this amazing company and family of Isogenics?
Wow, great. I love that. I love this one. So, you know, this has been a very challenging year in so many ways for many different people. I think it's probably been the most important year for Isogenics because we are literally, I mean, as we speak right now, after 18 years, we are going through a complete reinvention of Isogenics, literally looking at every single corner of our business and how do we reinvent ourselves in a way that's going to position us to, you know, empower people to live joyful, abundant, healthy lives in this new decade. Because that's the vision of Isogenics. And any company that's been around for 18 years, we've been around for 18 years now. Any company that's been through that amount of time, you're going to go through all the different seasons of a business. Like you're going to go through times where everything's going right. You're going to go through times of so much challenge and like it's so foggy and you can't see in front of you. It's just like your own personal lives. It's like your own personal Isogenics businesses. You go through the ups and downs. What we're about to enter as we close out this 2020 and this new year is the most exciting season, an abundant season we've ever entered. You know, because the company's going through a transformation. I mean, Isogenics 2.0, it's like we're at the starting line. It's happening. A lot of people are like, oh, 2.0, here we are. We're so excited about it. Like what you're seeing right now, this is like Isogenics 1.1. I mean, yes, we've kind of birthed this vision of 2.0. Like this is going to be the future state of Isogenics that you've been hearing me about like a broken record all year. But in every single event, every single month, we're going to be making more and more progress to get to this infinite journey of 2.0. But I will say that, this was the year that kind of 2.0 was birthed into the world. 2021 is going to be the year that it fully comes to life. It's going to be the most transformational year that we have ever had in 2021. Mark my words on that. And just like personal renewal, personal transformation, I've been in this company for 10 years. Personal transformation, it's hard. I mean, it's not like a coasting, thing where it's like, oh, this is so easy and so much fun transforming and like growing as a person. Like you go through moments where it's so hard. And as we've kind of birthed this 2.0 vision, we've had stuff come at us that's like been some of the most challenging thing that's come at us. And that's what I think happens sometimes when you put out a vision that's so bold, like the universe is going to test you, like things are going to come at you that are going to test you. And we're going to close out this year so strong. We've got lots of exciting things coming, but 2021, I mean, between product innovation and upgrading our core products, the marketing, branding, messaging, all that branding that you saw at Celebration, all of that is going to come to life through our packaging, our opening the box experience, our website, all of that. Upgrading our user experience through innovative technology. We want it to be so simple and easy and intuitive to do business with Isagenix. The Penny app was just like the little first deliverable of 2.0 in terms of upgrading the user experience. We got some big ones coming at the very beginning of the year, and it's going to continue all year long. And I will say that over the next 3, 5, 10 years, we've kind of gone from this brand from an outsider view of, oh, Isagenix is just like a weight loss company. We're not, obviously we know that we're not just a weight loss company. This is a company that's going to start to really lead the narrative in the world in well-being, physical well-being, financial well-being, emotional well-being, mental well-being. Like, we want people outside of Isagenix, in all different countries in the world, when they start thinking about, health and well-being, how to live a healthy and purposeful life through all those different layers of well-being, they're going to start turning to Isagenix because of us really controlling and leading the narrative in that area for the planet. So I'm just so encouraged and so empowered, because the vision is so clear right now, it's so crystal clear in my head and our team's head and where we're going, and what you're going to continue to see Isagenix keep getting better and better and better month after month after month. We know who we are and where we're going. And I'm just so grateful to have, the heart of Isagenix, like all of you on the line that are going to help carry the torch with all of us for this next decade.
Yeah. Well, we are so fired up for it. We're ready for it. We're excited to impact more people's lives. And Erik, can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. Guys, blow up the chats for Erik. We love you, and we are so grateful for you. I wish that you were here over in the States. We'd break quarantine just to have dinner, but I'm so grateful for you, and thank you so much for being on this call. We love you. Isagenix is we're so blessed to have a chief visionary officer like you, and this has truly been such an amazing call. So encouraging, so uplifting, and we are pumped to be a part of Isagenix. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking your time to pour into this team. We're so proud to be a part of Isagenix and to continue the vision that you and your parents have really laid for all of us to be a part of. So thank you.
Thanks, Audrey, so much for having me. So grateful for you and James and everybody on this call.
Awesome. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful night. We'll see you guys next Monday. Bye, everyone.